Hello, and thanks for joining the session. Today we're going to be looking at doing some stuff with the Twitch API. We've already done that a few times, and every time I regret it. Well, almost every time. The thing that I'm hoping to do, or was hoping to do, is figure out a way to automatically update the Twitch title, or the title of my channel on Twitch, and also the tags. Unfortunately, tags aren't a thing. I saw some information in the docs regarding communities, but I guess communities aren't the same as tags. Somehow I'm in a community, but I don't even know if I can see it anymore. So if we look at the live dashboard, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, we do have this title. This is what I would like to be able to update automatically. These tags are the other thing that I would like to be able to update automatically as well. Every time I start a new stream, if I don't remember to put these tags on there, they don't go in that bucket. And unfortunately, if we're looking at filters, if I want to add a filter for web development, let's see if I'm on there right now. I'm not even sure if I'm on here. It seems to be very, oh, here we go. So we do actually have this on here. So that's good. It actually stuck. The funny thing is, a few times now I've actually pressed update information after adding these and it would come back empty. So I don't really understand how this works. I don't know if it's actually super useful or not. But I do think that it'll help with viewership to be able to have the appropriate tags on the episode. It would also be nice to be able to tell people what we're actually working on. So I think the only thing we can really work on is the title. If we look at, let's see here, Twitch tags, I found a blog post. Here we go, introducing tags. I think there is a frequently asked questions. Where would that go? Guide to tags. Yeah, here we go. So how can we use them? Why can't I set this in OBS or Streamlabs? So it sounds like they're actively working on adding this to the API, but it's not in the API, which is kind of a bummer. And so we do actually have to keep setting them every time. So I just need to remember to do that manually for now, but I should be able to get this title updated. So what I'd like to do is use the same functionality that we have to look for, say, these upcoming sessions. And what I can do is look for the next upcoming session. If it starts within the next 30 minutes, update Twitch to have this title. I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it, and then set that on like a 15-minute cron job or something like that, so that 15 minutes before the session starts, or maybe I should do 30 minutes. Anyway, we can figure that out later, but essentially 30 minutes before an episode starts, some period of time beforehand, it'll proactively update the title to what the stream is going to be next. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here on the Twitch API. So we have Twitch API. We did some stuff with the webhooks. I've not been very happy with pretty much any of the Twitch API to this point. The webhook stuff, it's not really working in production. We do have this little bit here, but I actually had to run this manually. I actually had to run the push stream online. The webhooks are registered, the webhook re-registers as it's supposed to, and I can see the messages come in that it's actually confirming it, but it seems like the stream down message comes through just fine. If I wander away after a session, eventually this the webhook fires and turns the stream off for me, but it doesn't ever kick it on, so I don't really know what that's all about. It's kind of annoying. So we did a lot of stuff with the webhooks already, but what I'm going to do is look for the new Twitch API. I thought maybe we'd have to use the old one because, let's see here, because I thought that communities was what they renamed. I thought they renamed communities to tags, but that's not actually the case. So the new Twitch API actually has considerably less functionality on it, but I think that's fine because I don't need anything except being able to update. Adam says, let's see here, twitch.tv docs API. Yep, so this is the new API. So what we're going to do with this is figure out what we actually need. So if I look at the reference is what I need. And oh, it's okay, Adam. Thanks for trying to help. I appreciate any sort of input or feedback or whatever on here. All right, so let's see. We have stream. So this is where we get the information for our stream. Let's see what we can do. Looks like we can make this request just with the client ID. I want to get a specific stream. Get streams metadata about the active streams playing. Okay, so I don't want to do that. Get user. Get users. So I can actually get the user by user ID. So I have my user ID. So I'm going to copy this here to our Scratch file. Actually, it looks like I already had this set up here. But I'm going to use my client ID. Ooh, actually, this is using a bearer token, so I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see what happens here. Unauthorized. Okay, so I need to provide a valid client ID or OAuth token. All right, so I need to switch this to be client ID. May not actually be this easy. The error message might be more generic than it intends. Oh. Okay, so that's that user. Let's use my user ID. Let's see what we get. Cool. And then we can pretty print it. All right, so this is me. Let's see what information we have. We have my ID, broadcaster type. I'm not sure what that's used for. View count. This is my description. All right, so this is the user. This is not the stream. So it doesn't have the Astrocasts information in it. So display name, broadcaster type, offline image. All right, so let's see what else we can do. Maybe it is actually stream that I need here. So let's go back up here. Let's do get stream. There we go. Stream, Helix streams. All right, so Helix streams. Let's see if we can do the same thing. That's interesting. It's way more information than I expected to see. Paginator, user ID. All right, this is looking like it's looking at all of the streams. So let's see what filters we can do. Community ID, game ID, user ID. Or more specified user login names. All right, so user ID. See if this gets my info. It does. Okay, cool. So let's see, we got data, we got one object, username. Here we go, title. So this is what I want to be able to update. Here are the community IDs that I was mentioning, also the tag IDs. I wonder, there might be some hidden stuff in here. I wonder if I can do that. Let's do, just to play with it, tags. It's always fun to use unsupported unsupported functionality. Let's see here, let's do ID. Okay, Well, it looks like we can't actually do anything with it, but this is what I ultimately eventually want to be able to do, is figure out how I can set those tag IDs. At least it's showing them now. I didn't think it was actually showing them the last time I looked at it. So I want to figure out how to update title. So let's see where we have for get users, reference. I want to update it, get streams metadata. Yeah, so Adam is saying, I wonder if you can update the tags with the tag IDs from the prior recordings. That's kind of what I was hoping I'd be able to do. The thing is, I don't know which tags these are, so I was hoping to figure out what they were. There are some tags on here that are auto. So for example, the language tag I didn't add, IRL and creative. So I don't know if the tag IDs that it's putting on here are my two plus one of these three, or if it's just these three. So I don't know. So I was hoping I could figure out what these actually were. Yeah, definitely. So the suggestion was to play with them and activate and deactivate them. We could definitely probably do that. But for now, I want to see, I'm a little concerned that I don't see any updates. So let's do update user. Because this might mean we do have to go to the old version. Response the same as get user, so update stream 0. Twitch new API update stream. Yeah, so this is for the v5. Update stream title. Currently available. Let's see, how long ago was this? Well, it was this year, so I'm guessing this is still not available. All right, so what this is going to mean is that we have to look at the old version. So let's see where we can get with that. So we're gonna have to look at the Twitch API v5. So that, I believe, only had users. It didn't have a notion of a stream. I guess it does. Let's see here. So let's do stream reference, get stream by user. Okay, so let's do that one. It only gives you info about a stream if it's live. Get stream summary, featured streams. Let's look at users reference. Okay, let's see if we can do this. This looks like another one that requires some additional information on it. So it's doing client ID. It is asking for OAuth, so I'm gonna see if I can get away with not doing that. Kraken user. Oh, based on the user. Okay, so this is if I want to use my authorization token. So this is a singular user. That's my bad. So what I would need to do is get users by ID, and then I can get away with just the client ID. So the idea there, some APIs will end up with like a me endpoint that doesn't care who you are, it doesn't get information for which user or which whatever endpoint you're looking at. This just gives you the information related to the person who's logged in or owns the authorization header. But we don't have to worry about that. So let's do this because we know our ID, which I looked up by hand, and I'm just hard coding it in my environment file. So it's actually available just as Twitch user ID. It's much easier than having the inline lookup all the time, even though it feels kind of dirty sometimes to do it that way. Let's see here. So I got this ID. Let's see if this gets us all the info we need. JSON. Okay, so this is just my user. So we do have to look in the streams then. So let's see what the streams API gives us more info. Get live streams. Can I change? Wow, I wonder if you can't. No, I know you have to be able to. Because I know other systems do it. Video reference, users reference, get user subscription by channel, create user. Status. Huh, Twitch V5 API. Stream title. So authorize, it gets the token. First of all, what version are you trying to use? Let's see, which version? Where was this, if this exists? Update channel. Did I just totally miss that? V5 reference streams. Oh, it's channel, not stream. All right. Okay, so let's do get channel. All right, so we're doing Kraken still. So Kraken channels. Cool. Let's see. So mature false, logo, followers, banner, status. Okay, so here's the status, which is good. Profile banner. Okay. All right, so what do we have to do to update it then? So update channel. So this looks like this is actually going to require the authentication stuff, which I'm not sure how complicated that's going to be. So now that we know where we need to be, we can go into V5 API and figure out how to do the authentication stuff. Paging through results, from users to numbers. All right, so we need revoking access tokens. I wonder, setting user access tokens and app access tokens. Really store the client secret and can make a server-to-server request. So authorization flow does not use a server. Client credentials flow, you need an app access token. So Authorization flow. To the end of 2018. So this is not what I want. Let's see. I wonder if we can, I don't know how we can create the app access tokens. So the user that cannot be used with endpoints that require user authentication. Authentication. All right. I'm going to figure out if we can use something here. So let's do Twitch v5. Little collection to work with 5 docs. These do not look very well used. And one of them's abandoned. All right. So let's not be this specific. So we do Kraken. This too doesn't have a whole lot. All right. So we don't need an OAuth bundle or any sort of authentication stuff. What we want possibly is one of these. Let's open them all that look reasonable and see. So this one's 4,000 downloads. Still not a lot, but we'll see. We don't want a Laravel package. Let's take a look at this one. All right, let's check page 2. Yeah, I think they're getting less interesting there. All right. This one, it's Laravel, Twitch Laravel. Okay, let's take a look at these two packages and see. So this one was last updated relatively recently. That's awesome. I think I looked at this one earlier and it hasn't been updated in over a year. So let's take a look at this one then. Library supports stay in v3 and v5. v5 will be used by default. Get your client ID. Okay, cool. Okay, I think this is a winner. So let's go ahead and use this package and see how it goes. Oh, I always do too much work there when I don't need to. I'm going to pop into the actual repository and see what we can see. Okay, so some examples. Users, get user example. That's okay. Endpoints missing. Okay, so let's see what the code actually looks like. Let's see if it does auth. Okay, so it does. Awesome. So well, at least it talks about it. And it's using a trait. Let's see what we have. So get authentication URL. Get the user's access credentials. Refresh token, revoke token. Okay. Twitch API. So construct array. Let's see here. Redirect client secret. Okay, so I'll need that. redirect URI, API version, and scope. I wish that I didn't have to do the OAuth dance for this, because it doesn't seem like it should be required. Because I'm going to have to find a way to then store this token somewhere, which I don't have any use for. It's not like it's on a per user basis, but it is what it is. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so the package is installed, and it added some dependencies. All right. So I guess the thing that I need to do is build something that will store these tokens somehow and associate them with the user. Request a code token for each request, no storage. Yeah, I suppose that's something that we could do. Actually, that's a really good idea. Thanks for that suggestion, Adam. Because then, if we can do that, then it would make some parts of our life a little bit easier. I should double check to make sure they don't have specific rate limits on that sort of thing. Reference. Where do we have? Also more secure. Yeah. That way, if I ever lose the database, then there aren't tokens flying around. Okay, so I'm going to try this recommendation. So let's see here. We're looking at the Twitch API, so I need to specify. So I don't think it's still going to need a redirect API, isn't it? None of the docs show how this would even work, I don't think. Redirect API can be junk, it doesn't matter. All right, let's try it then. Let's do. Yeah, so we'll give it a try and see what happens here. That actually should not be in Git. There we go. All right. All right, so write your own. Yeah. I do have some ideas for doing some API building things, but yeah. On short notice, I wasn't ready to fire up a brand new thing on that. Also, I mean, this package might actually turn out to be pretty good. It just doesn't have any docs, so potentially adding docs could be part of this project as well. So let's do some copy and paste. Let's just work with my client ID for now. Let's see if we can do this. User identifier, we'll use me. Default API response are returned as arrays. Yeah, no docs, but it has tests. You know, that's actually the next place I'll probably end up looking to find out how to use the authentication stuff. If you're already poking around there, Joe, if you could let me know if there's tests that show how authentication is supposed to work, that would be cool. Invalid user identifier provided. All right, so, oh, that's probably because that was No. Maybe it works just for v3. Let's see. v3 allowed that. Yeah, that's the case. All right. So I'm not going to worry about that because I don't really care about that part of it. So set return JSON to true. I don't want raw JSON. Let's print our okay, cool. And let's do the same thing, but get stream by user. Okay, so we get that information correctly. So game, community IDs, display name. Where's the title? Ah, here we go. Cool. All right, so that's there. On status, so let's just make sure that we can do something interesting now. So let's do Twitch API, set channel community. Oof. Maybe it doesn't do it. Let's do source PI channels. We get channel, update channel. There we go. Okay. Ooh, so it does require an access token. So update channel. The things it needs is the identifier, which is here. What else does it need? We need a access token. Status. Oh, so we can set the status right here. Looks like everything else is optional. This is pretty much all I need, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I do need this access token. So let's see, Twitch API, get access credentials. Code. What? Client ID secret. Grant type, authorization code, redirect. What is code? It's not a scope, client code. That is absolutely not useful. So OAuth 2. We're doing OAuth 2/token. Grant type. Okay. I don't see anything in here about scopes. There it is. So get authentication URL. Ah, okay. So I think this might be where we go first, which is not on here. And I think response type code. So this is where I wasn't sure how this works. I was pretty sure that some of the OAuth things are kind of nice, but I thought you had to actually go to the URL. Get authentication URL. And then you have to actually go to it, which then redirects back. But since I haven't done this before, since this was Adam's suggestion, is it possible I can just use a guzzle request to visit that URL and extract the code that way? I feel like this is really dirty, and there's probably a better way to do this. Client ID, redirect URI, undefined variable access token. Let's try again. So let's do. Does the package have methods to access what? So from what I'm reading so far, the token is what you get from the access credentials. So we get the URL. The URL gives us the code, and then we can ask the we do get access credentials, return something. So this returns, I think this actually returns the token. Yeah, so this gets users access credentials, which includes the access token. So what we need to pass into here is the code that we get from, what does it read? PHP. See if that works. All right, so we needed the client secret. I need to actually get that. So let's go to here. Missing redirect URI. So we're getting there. So redirect URI, I think this is where you were saying, Adam, that I can just put anything in there. Let's see what the values are. Twitch API, redirect URI, there we go. I'm actually going to switch these up to use these values, because I think when I build this into Symfony, I'm going to use the setter injection on it. Which works better than this. Twitch API. Let's see if that works. Must provide. All right. Not going to print the stream. So this is going to ask the Twitch API to get the authentication URL. I'm going to print that URL. In theory, it gives me the code. I use this code to get the access credentials, and then I'm going to print the access credentials. So this is what would need to happen in order to get a token each time. Missing param client ID, client secret, grant type. Okay, so why are we? So this URL, missing param, client ID, client secret, and grant type. Huh. Ah, okay. So what did we get here? Code actually returned some HTML. Ah. This isn't going to work. Yeah. Yeah, this is where I was saying this seems really overkill. So I'm actually going to have to end up persisting this token somewhere because I'm not going to want to have to do this all the time. So I'm not going to get it that way. Oh no. Enter code. Here we go. Read line, see, prompt, null. Why is it red? Oh, no. Hopefully it just works. Alright, so I have to visit here. Delete Twitch. Twitch has no control over the content or security of Astrocasts.test. Okay. Alright, so parameter redirect URI does not match registered URI. Awesome. Security is fun. Let's try this again. All right, new URL. Continue, still mismatching. All right, so no, that didn't work right. My dashboard, here we go. Should have my apps. So I have two apps. I have local, and I'm guessing that I just have a different URL that I need to use. Yeah, so it's just /Twitch. Yeah, Adam said, did you enter a URI when you created the app? And I did. Some of them don't care which redirect URI, and others are very, very picky. Apparently this one's the latter. All right, so let's see. All right, will you allow Astrocast local to nothing? All right, so before I move on, let's make sure that we have some scopes. Options. scope. All right, so that's something we're going to put here. So we can make sure and do all the things that we want to be able to do. The only weird thing is that this is, well, for me. So let's do scope. Okay, so analytics, read extension. You can specify any or all of these scopes. All right, so let's do channel editor, channel read. Well, actually, let's just do this one for now, because I think that's the only one I absolutely need to do. There are 3 OAuth procedures. Implicit. The user you want to authenticate, you registered, you redirects. Okay. Force verified state. Auth authorization workflow. Client credentials. Wonder if the grant type is always specified here. Yeah. Okay. So it's possible that I could maybe change this so that it doesn't require a redirect, but it would require making changes to this API. If we look, what this is saying is that you can do a client credentials sample request, you pass it your client ID, your client secret, client credentials, and then scope, and then it responds with an access token. And then an expiration, and then you would be able to refresh that. Well, in theory, you'd be able to refresh it. It looks like maybe you wouldn't. Actually, probably you wouldn't have to. You would just have to generate a new token. Okay. So we're going to do the URL route just for now. So I want to make sure I saved this. Oh. Scope expects to be of type array. Okay. Okay. Update channels title, game status, and other metadata, and cut VODs. I'm going to allow it. All right, so now we have a code. I'm going to paste this here and see that we now have an access token. Awesome. Okay. What can we do with that now? So now we no longer need to do this or this or this or this. And let's paste this information in here so we have it. How does this use it? I wonder if I can pass in client secret. No. Okay. So when I wanted to update channel earlier, it needed an access token. So I'm just going to hard code this for now, just to make sure that it's working. Access token. And then this might actually be where we'll be mostly done for the day. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of work here. I need to think on this a little bit to see if this is something I actually want to do. But let's go ahead and see if this works. Okay. And Yay! Awesome. So that was a lot of work for something that seems like it should have been pretty trivial. So I think the main thing that I'd like to try is see if I can get a customized version of this authentication, and see if we can. Cool. Adam says that he saw it change real time, so that's pretty awesome. Which seems to be more or less what I would have expected from the webhooks. But the webhooks are just, they're either not working or I have them broken or something, but they aren't coming through nearly real time. I assumed it would all be real time. So I might have to take another look at that. All right, so essentially this refresh stuff, I'm not sure where this is going to come into play, but this get access credentials is something that I should be able to add something to this class along the lines of get you know, maybe I will try this in the next couple of minutes. Let's post extend Twitch request. All right, so that's a protected function, so we can actually call that because this bit here this would actually be closer to what Adam was suggesting in the beginning. So I'm going to comment this stuff out and see if I can create my own subclass here. So let's do let's name it after what this was called. Let's see, it's not the implicit kind, it's the client credentials. All right, so let's go source, Twitch config. Let's call this Twitch OAuth client credentials flow. All right, so this is a case where it's going to be nice that I can extend this. Recently, there's been chat on Twitter and wherever about final classes, and this is me breaking that rule that some people are like excited about not letting people break. So what was this class called? I think it was Twitch API, right? So let's look and see what they were doing for authentication. So get access credentials. Yeah, let's copy this. Getting lost here. Here we go. So we'll do get access credentials. Call it client access credentials. I don't think we need state. So what are the options they had here? So they had client secret, grant type. Well, we don't need that, or we don't need to be able to specify that. I don't know why you would specify scopes. But let's do it anyway. So let's do post endpoint, OAuth 2 token. The only thing we're going to change here is client credentials. We don't need a redirect URI. We don't need a code. We don't need a state. We're using client ID and client secret. So what we're going to want to do is change our little script here to use this instead. And I think maybe it'll just send scope because it's getting it there. I don't know. But let's see what happens if we want to print our stream again. Well, no, that should just work. So let's do access credentials. Client access credentials. Is that right? No. Oh, I see. I have to import it correctly. There we go. Now it should work. Print our all right. So I think this will work. Every time I do this, it's going to give me a different access token. So I should be able to change this now to what? Access credentials. I'll do the same update. So there's definitely a lot of refactoring that can go into here. But if this works, then it at least puts us in the right direction, and then we can try and do some other stuff maybe tomorrow. Why is that? Oh, why is... exception. All right, so let's try it again. Let's go look at the live dashboard. It didn't work. Let's see. Did we get an error? Or is there a die somewhere? No. Unauthorized. Ooh, invalid OAuth token. I wonder if this is... This would be a bummer if this doesn't work after all that. Make sure I'm actually getting the right value out. Okay, so it is actually setting the access token. I wonder if there's something different. If I need a different scope. List of scopes. So we're on V5. Let's see if there's something else we can do. Collections edit. Channel read, channel stream. We can specify any or all. All right. I think it's not working, which is a big bummer. Because it is getting the token. Let's see if it's able to do other things with it, though. It's possible. It's just you can't do interesting stuff with it. So let's see if... Well, no, that doesn't even ask for an access token. Twitch API. Let's see what they can do with client access credentials. All right, so it looks like this is not going to work, which is not fun because I was pretty excited about that. Yeah. So we're getting a token, it's just not working. And I think, unless there's a way to convert them, so OAuth client credential flow, client ID and secret. Let's see here. So I think I did see something in here that said some things will require, yeah, some Twitch API endpoints require application authentication. Since the app access tokens are not associated with user, they cannot be used with endpoints that require user authentication. So I think that's probably the problem. Even though I, the user, own the resources, or the owner of the app is me, I would think I should still be able to access my own resources, but it doesn't look like that's the case. And if we look at, let's see, channel update channel, it's going to tell us what we need. So required scope to update delay, channel editor, to update other parameters, you need channel token or channel editor. Yeah, so it needs looks like it needs the OAuth token, and what we end up with is something different. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. Unfortunately, we didn't get very far. This tends to be my experience so far with the Twitch API, is a lot of back and forth and a lot of weirdness, which isn't good. It makes me a little unhappy, but we were able to actually get some things going here. We were able to get it to work in a way that I just may have to live with. So I think the next step will probably be trying to figure out how to store this information in such a way that it makes sense. So I would have to do I think I'll need to have that proper, let's see, it was astrocasts.test/Twitch endpoint. So we already have the subscription. This thing here needs to actually get the code. Would have to probably assign that code to the user who's logged in. In this case, it would be me. And then I could do things. The problem with that is that if I ever want to do something where, say I want to be able to allow people to associate their Twitch account, their Google account, or their Facebook accounts with their Astrocasts user, I would probably need I would probably need to have two different applications, because the scopes that I'm asking for me, as the admin of a specific Twitch service, or for a specific Twitch user, is different than what I would ask for people who were going to attach it to their username. So if I log in here, for example, it would make sense to assign the ability for me to be able to change the title to the Astrocast stream, because that's who I am. If Adam or Joe were to create their users on the astrocast.com site and associate their Twitch account with Astrocast, and then they see, hey, he wants to be able, or Astrocast wants to be able to change your stream title. I don't think that would go over very well. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'll juggle those two different concepts and figure out how to store the things. But anyway, thank you all for joining. I will look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. I might consider spinning this off into its own project. The thing that I did yesterday with the live sessions is I closed out the rewriting that podcast project. So this one's completed now. So there's 30 episodes. I'm thinking about doing the same thing with bootstrapping Astrocasts as well, rather than having, continuing this on, indefinitely. I think it would make sense to start creating smaller sessions that are more focused. So if we do like the Twitch API session, maybe that turns out to be 3 episodes. It doesn't necessarily have to just be continuing on with the bootstrapping Astrocast site. So anyway, that's probably what you'll see tomorrow is a new live session setup that we can put things on. All right, well, thanks again for joining, everyone. Have a good night.